We open the barnyard door and anything can come out. Around here, that's the truth. Welcome to the Flying Pigskin Show. It might have been a bye week, but here we are. With Keenan Singleton, I'm Ken Broo. I'm fired up.
Fired up already?
Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh week.
Yeah, everyone's fired up in the city for this one.
You ever been to Pittsburgh?
No.
It's not as bad as it used to be. Used to be you go in there and like you'd be walking around downtown for 5 minutes and in a white shirt you'd have all kinds of like
soot on you.
Soot all over the place. Women had put clothes out on the laundry line like at 9 a.m. and by 11 o'clock soot on the clothes.
So you'd go outside 5 minutes later you look like me.
But anyway, what they would do is the factories left, and now it's kind of like this industrial service place, you know, where people get serviced industrially, and it's clean now. And it's a nice town. It really is.
Serviced industrially.
How much does that run you?
What's that?
To be serviced industrial.
Well, you have to be an industrious person first.
Okay.
Hey,
and is it legal?
I've been married twice in my life, and both women were from Pittsburgh, so it can't be all like that.
Oh, man, you got a good connection to that city.
I am. It's the only people that'll date me. Welcome to the Flying Pigskin. We got a big show today. We got the WCPO app going on. Have you heard about this thing?
Tell me about it, please.
These things are just taken over. They're called smartphones. They've been out for a while.
Right.
But you get these things on there. They're like little cartoons, and they're called apps. And you put them on there, and one of them is the WCPO app, and you hit that, and you get news, you get weather, you get sports, and you also get the ability to listen to this show on the WCPO app. So do that. The show's available on iTunes, and then 24/7, 365 on WCPO.com.
Like little cartoons.
Well, they are. They're little like
There's a Bugs Bunny app. There's a Daffy Duck app.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I call them. They're like little. You hit the cartoon you want to see, and that's what pops up. Like you want a CNN cartoon, you hit that and that pops up.
Wolf Blitzer app.
Don Lemon is kind of funny, so I can.
He is. You got all that. Big show coming up today. Big show coming up. Our general sales manager is here.
We got them coming from everywhere.
It's unbelievable. You hardly ever see anybody in sales on this floor. But a guy that used to play, apparently, for the Dallas Cowboys and the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Not the other Rough Riders. There's two Rough Rider franchises.
Well, one is Rough Riders with one word, and the other is Rough Rider with the other one. But anyway, our own Mike Barbato is going to be here today. He's going to talk, I think, a little smack about. He's from Pittsburgh.
He's a Steeler fan, right?
Steeler.
Steeler.
I seen you downtown at the Steeler game. And then we got Mr. Statton's back. He's got mean tweets. People that have written mean things. He's
I'm looking forward to this.
Dramatic readings to. And back from vacation is Mike McCoy.
Oh, boy.
So
he's back from his bye week.
Exactly. Actually, he's back from our vacation.
Yeah.
Mike McCoy is going to be with us here today. And of course, we have the boys in the back. Matt Lukin is in charge. He's there in the middle. To his right is Mike Strotman, who is basically, Mike McCoy's bank. And to his left is Brian Neese.
And Libby's
Brian is there. Brian is
elbow.
He's the creative one. And then all the way down at the end is Libby Duber, because once again, there she is. Hi. We don't know where Mike Cannon is.
Yeah.
He could be anywhere right now. Could be in rehab, anywhere. Anywhere, but off the bye week, I'm ready to go. There are 3 ravishing redheads in this town.
3.
One is Andy Dalton.
He's the top ranked.
One is me.
Okay.
And one is Rocky Boyman. There he is. Hello, Rocky.
Well done.
Gingers of the world unite.
Ken, I'm not so sure that smartphone thing is really going to catch on, but
well, you never know. Rock, when you played, you had a bye week. Did you like bye weeks personally? I'm sure you did. Professionally, were they good? Because it seems like teams kind of are sluggish coming off of bye weeks. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. As a player, you absolutely love it, especially when, like the Bengals, you're undefeated. You go into the game before the bye week, you win, and everything's great. You go take off a few days and get some R&R. But no, I'm more and more convinced every year that while byes are good for getting a team healthy, they're terrible for continuity and cohesion. I had a game this weekend I called for ESPN, SMU. They come off a bye week, and Chad Morris, their head coach, says, we've had the best 2 weeks of practice since I've been here. It's fantastic. And they look totally out of sync that entire game. And we obviously last year, the Bengals, after a 3-0 start, go into the bye week and come out and look terrible. So that's going to be the big thing here, guys, is if the Bengals can keep that, that continuity, keep that offense the way it was working coming out here, it's going to be tough.
Roethlisberger could be back. One of the things I think Pittsburgh has missed, and I'm surprised they went 2-2 in his absence, but one of the things I think they missed is his ability to extend plays. Yep. And I think if they had that, first of all, I think if Tomlin decided he was going to go for it on 4th and 1 against Baltimore and actually hand the ball to the best running back in the league, there may be 3-1. But one of the things they missed yesterday against Kansas City, I thought, was the ability to extend plays. I think that's a dimension. If he's mobile enough now, that's always a big deal when you play Pittsburgh.
Well, certainly. That's what he does best. And I know he's throwing better from the pocket and fitting better into what Todd Haley wants. I understand that. But when it comes down to it, what that guy does is he extends plays with his legs and extends plays with the fact that guys can't tackle him, and that allows receivers to get open, especially a guy like Antonio Brown, who's a gamer. He's just a guy that's able to find windows to get open on a field, and if you give him enough time to do that, he's going to get open, and that's exactly what they're missing now without Ben Roethlisberger. So I have to imagine, guys, that any way possible that Ben Roethlisberger can get out there, even if he has to have a wheelchair, Mike Tomlin is going to roll him out on the field, and he's going to play against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Tomlin said that he prepared last week. He was physically able to play, Roethlisberger was, but he didn't take the reps during the week, so he went with who was practicing. But he said going into this week, Roethlisberger's healthy. They're going to game plan for a Roethlisberger team, and they expect him to be there. And unless something happens that he regresses or has an injury again, that's who they're planning on putting out there.
Yeah, I think that was part of it, but I also think in my gut that Mike Tomlin thought he could go in and just steal one from Kansas City, give his quarterback one more week of rest, and be really sharp and ready to go versus the Bengals. Unfortunately for them, it didn't happen. Fortunately for the Bengals, it did turn out that way. They weren't able to beat the Chiefs. But, I certainly think he'll be out there. Look, I mean, he's played in that offense for a long, long time. I don't think he's a guy that needs, a week or 2 weeks of practice to get in sync with everybody. I think he pretty knows what he's doing. They just thought that I think one more week would help him be his best.
Okay, Rock, games in Pittsburgh. Steelers are desperate. They got to win this to have any shot to stay in the division race. How do you think this plays out Sunday in Pittsburgh?
I don't know. If you line up everything on a piece of paper, you got to go Bengals. But I go back to, again, coming off the bye week, as we just talked about to start the show. It's just, it's so hard to get back in sync. Guys go to Vegas, guys go to Florida, guys get away. And can you get back in sync when you're playing such a good team as the Steelers, who have a lot of good players? Remember, when they have all their weapons, they're maybe one of the most potent offenses in football. And last year, I think toward the end of the year, they were scoring over 33 points a game, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I don't feel in my gut, I don't feel great about this one. I really don't.
Rock, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Very good. Thanks, guys.
Rocky Boyman, one of the 3 most ravishing redheads in the city of Cincinnati. We're joined now by royalty. And anybody that's a department head in this place is royalty. And I'm telling you here right now, Keenan, it isn't often that we get somebody from management down here. This is amazing. This is Mike Barbato. He's our general sales manager. You're from Pittsburgh?
I have a lot of family there.
Yeah, whereabouts?
I wasn't born there in Butler, PA.
Butler, PA. So up near Newcastle.
Yep.
Newcastle, Butler, Aliquippa. That's like right along the river. That's good steel towns up there.
Heart of the Yuns.
And you grew up a Steelers fan.
I did. Yeah, ever since I was a little kid, I loved the Steelers, the Pirates.
Yeah. So I'm looking at you, just judging you by age, I would guess that, the mid-'70s when it was Mean Joe Green and Jack Ham and Jack Lambert and that whole group, Wagner, those were your guys, right?
They were. I was probably about 5 or 8 at the time, but I did like them, yeah.
Was Ken's description of the city, since I've never been there, was it apt? Was it an apt description as far as how sooty it is, or was?
A lot of people coughing all the time.
It's an awesome city.
It is.
Diversity, the food is awesome, the people are great.
Have you ever been to that restaurant? It used to be in downtown Pittsburgh. It was called the Common Plea. It was right next to the morgue. Right next to the city morgue. It was wonderful. They had great food, but it was just located next to the morgue. Now, you played football in college?
College.
Where?
I played at Pittsburgh and then Baldwin Wallace.
Okay. And then good enough to get give us a little sense of your Dallas Cowboys and then up to Canada, huh?
Yeah, I just signed preseason and then shipped to World League. At that time, it was kind of dismantled World League, so played in Europe against teams like Scotland and Barcelona. Right after the U.S. kind of called it quits. I think you had Ohio Glory here at the time.
Yeah.
And then from there went to beautiful Saskatchewan.
Did you like it up
for
there?
a couple of years?
Was that the prairies up there?
It was okay.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest, but it was okay.
You're a kicker, right?
Kicker and punter.
And how was it kicking, I guess, up there in the prairie? I mean, it seems like it'd be pretty cold.
You know, used to it, playing in Cleveland for a while, too. The same thing. There's always a breeze and snow to contend with, so you get used to it.
Now, when you were in Saskatchewan, what town is Saskatchewan located in, the Rough Riders? Saskatchewan is a province.
Yeah, it's a province.
But is it like a town that they're located in?
I'm trying to think. I know they're building.
Saskatchewan is a province too, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Where's Mike Cannon?
I don't think Mike was ready for a test.
No, I didn't.
I know they're building a new stadium. That's coming out.
Well, you guys were called imports, right? They called the American players imports.
Imports, and there were a lot of local players as well. Same thing in Europe.
Imported the Yingling.
Yeah, I was up in Canada once in Winnipeg, the Blue Bombers up there, and I was up there covering the hockey team, the Winnipeg Jets or whatever they were back in the 80s, and they had the Miss Blue Bomber contest when I was up there, and they asked me to judge it. They had no idea who I was, but they said I was from the United States, and they were looking for judges. I mean, they take football very seriously up there. They really do. It's a cool place to play. It's not the NFL, but it's still pretty cool to play up there.
Yeah, and there's some good players in the league there, too. I mean, there's some really good athletes up there, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So now you obviously know this week is Bengals and Steelers. It's a huge week in this town. Bengals, Steelers, in Pittsburgh, I sense maybe Browns, Steelers is bigger in that town. Am I right?
No, it's more Baltimore.
Yeah, I was going to say, wouldn't it be the Ravens?
It's all Ravens. It used to be the Browns when they were good, but now it's no longer the Browns.
Yeah, you have to have two good teams for a rivalry, Ken. You can't just be a name. You got to come in there with a little fame.
Right. But I think my point is I sense it's bigger here.
Oh yeah.
Than it is there. Bengals, Steelers here than it is there. Well, so you obviously are a Steelers fan. You live here in Cincinnati. You see the Bengals. How do you think this is playing out this week, Mike?
I think if Ben comes back healthy, which is hard after 5 weeks, they have a shot. The defense has to hold up, of course, but they, as you said, it's a must-win, and I think championship teams rally when they need to.
Yeah.
Which
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think this is the week that the Bengals go down. I think this is it.
I think it's going to be a very difficult week. I do. The only thing I would say is
going to be harder.
Yeah. The only thing I would say, there's a couple of things going on here. The Bengals haven't, if you look at records, they haven't beaten anybody.
Right.
I mean, the teams they've beaten record-wise are not great. But secondly, in their Bengals' favor, I think the Steelers' secondary looks like a car full of clowns. They don't look like they know what they're doing, and they lost a kid yesterday to a concussion who may or may not play this week. But my point is I don't know if they've got the secondary to stick with A.J. Green and Tyler Eifert and Marvin Jones. I just don't know if they have the bodies or the acumen back there.
Well, I think, though, they rise up to tradition. If you look at traditionally, like all the teams that play, especially when you get in the last 8 games of the season, the intensity level picks up. And you watch teams that are 500 start winning and make the playoffs, and some go to the Super Bowl, as they did against the Colts that year. Well, they played them in the wild card, and they were a wild card matchup. So you never know. I still think that if Dalton gets blitzed and he gets under pressure, historically he tends to throw picks.
Yes, he does. Well, thanks for joining us. We get nervous whenever management comes around it.
That's no problem.
So when you go back upstairs, the penthouse.
Speak well of us.
Yeah, just tell everybody that we love working here, and it's a great place, and we really appreciate you allowing us to do this show. Can you tell them that upstairs?
I definitely will.
They're in the Ivory Castle.
Yep, I will.
Thanks for being a good sport, Mike. Thank you. Mike Barbato, our general sales manager here on WCPO and WCPO.com. You know Mr. Statton?
I know of the guy.
Mr. Statton, sometimes he gets these, he likes to read tweets, and they're really not nice tweets, but only Mr. Statton can do it in his own inimitable style. So let's hear Mr. Statton and his mean tweets this week on the Flying Pigskin.
Open it.
Mr. Statton right here. We all know the Bengals are 6-0, but there's a lot of suckers talking trash right now. So, welcome to a special Haters Gonna Hate episode of Masterpiece Federo Tweets. This one comes from @AngelaC.Mintz. Andy Dalton is still going to choke in the playoffs, though. Smiley face. Let's just be here in this moment. Enjoy Andy Dalton. No one can touch him right now. Not even Tom Brady. I'm going with the red rifle. This one comes from @CalvinOlivius. Hashtag Bengals are a joke. Will be a big disappointment in the playoffs once again. What? I got a joke for you. Knock, knock. Who's there? 6-0, motherfucker. This one's from @Tom Campanini, another hashtag Bengals fan. Go ahead and climb on the train until the playoffs start. Emojis with crying, slapping, punching. I tell you what, Tom, I am on that train, and we're saying choo-choo straight to the Super Bowl. Just enjoy the ride. This one's from @Greg_Eaper. I don't care if the hashtag Bengals go 16-0. It's all about what Andy Dalton and Marvin Lewis do in the playoffs. I tell you what, Greg, I will take 16-0 because I've been calling it all year.
I'm also predicted, how many games we're playing? 16?
16 this year.
16 wins.
16.
Ah, this guy knows what I'm talking about. From @Hey, this just in. Andy Dalton threw an incomplete pass. He sucks, said an idiot. Thank you so much, Justin, for hating on the haters with me. Go Bengals!
Oh, PBS is calling.
Does Mike
PBS
McCoy,
is calling.
Does Mike McCoy have a Twitter account? I feel like that last mean tweet was from Mike McCoy under a pseudonym.
Doesn't even have a smartphone.
No cartoons on his phone.
Mr. Statton may join us here in a little bit, live from the Vox Populi, downtown with the proletariat.
Trying to stay warm out there.
Right. Let's go to our 2-minute drill. Big question here is which team has the better defense, the Bengals or the Steelers? I don't think there's any question the Bengals have a better defense. I watched the Steelers again. Their front seven, they're nice. They bring a little, something.
The back end.
But the back end of that defense, I'm
and
not
they got to
sure.
work together.
I mean, I never played football above a certain level. I'm not sure I couldn't catch a couple passes against that secondary. I'm not sure it wouldn't happen. They're not good. I mean, they even have a local kid playing there, Mike Mitchell from Fort Thomas. God bless him, but it's like, I know I'd get hit. I know I'd probably get my teeth rattled, but I think I might be able to put a move on them and catch the ball.
So
they're
let's
not
see
good.
What do the stats say here? So can we pull up the stats up,
here we
guys?
Yeah.
In the yards per game,
So
neither team does. This is rankings in the NFL.
Totally irrelevant. Yards per game in the NFL anymore. Totally irrelevant.
I'm just saying. I agree with you to some respect, but that's what they call when the number one ranked defense is the team that at the end of the year has given up the fewest amount of yards.
I think moving forward, if we can on these stats, if we go points per game and maybe third down conversion rate, I think it might be a better indicator of what a better defense is. But going by these, I mean, if we're just going strictly by stats, 7th versus 11th in points per game. I would think you'd have to give the edge to the Steelers just because that's how you tabulate who wins points in this game.
I think the Bengals have played, and I'm just saying this off the top of my head, there's absolutely no fact in anything that I'm saying here or at any point in the show. But I just sense the Steelers have played more teams that don't score.
No, they played the Patriots week 1.
Right.
They've both played the Chargers and the
Chiefs.
The Chiefs, right, and they lost both of those games.
They played the Oakland Raiders.
They beat the Chargers.
They beat the Chargers, I'm sorry, you're correct.
They played Oakland. Didn't Oakland beat them?
Yeah, I think Oakland beat them, right?
But that was a different Oakland team that the Bengals played because their quarterback wasn't there.
I don't think so. I think
Who's their third loss?
Stop correcting me, Keenan. There's no. If you're going to start dealing in fact, you're going to have to get somebody else in here. You're going to have to get Popovich back from vacation if you want facts. But no, like I said, I think the back end of the Steelers defense is suspect.
I think more importantly, the Bengals have a better team.
Yeah.
And a better coaching staff.
Right, and it's their offensive line against the Steelers' defensive line. I like that matchup. Yeah. I do.
I think the Bengals have a better team, but when you only look at the Steelers when Roethlisberger was on the team for the first 3 games, which is a very limited sample, they were 2-1. They lost to the Patriots on the first game of the year. When Roethlisberger's with them, they're one of the best offenses in the league, and they have it's just as formidable as the Bengals, seemingly, statistically.
Yeah,
so I think if the Bengals can win this one, obviously they have a huge lead, and they'd have to have some really catastrophic problem. If they don't, I think it's a toss-up, and it's like a half-game lead then at that point.
Yeah. Offensively, I think if you match Roethlisberger up with Dalton, I think you take Roethlisberger still at this point. I think you match up Le'Veon Bell with either Jeremy Hill or you take Bell, and then if you match up Antonio Brown versus A.J. Green, that one might be the only toss-up in that three.
AFC North Roundup, and the stats don't lie. The Bengals at 6-0, obviously at the top of the heap. That loss yesterday in Kansas City, I thought was devastating for the Steelers.
Agreed.
Had they won that, then next week, if they beat the Bengals, they would have been a half game out.
Right.
Now that they're 3 back, and although they've got a game in hand, they're 3 back. And they could be 4 back after this coming weekend.
So even a loss this week, if the Bengals take a loss, it's not even catastrophic at this point.
No. Rams beat the Browns yesterday. McCown went out with some sort of shoulder problem. You might see Johnny Football when the Browns come here next Thursday night. You might see him.
Oh.
But, McCown was knocked out, so Manziel mopped up in that game. And then the Ravens and Cardinals play tonight on ESPN. Joe Flacco, I feel for the guy because he just has nobody to throw to. They have 0 skill guys.
They got Steve.
Steve with a bad back, they got Steve. But, I mean, where are the days of Torrey Smith and Anquan Bolden and Dennis Pitta and all of those guys that he had to throw to? They're gone with the wind. Gone with the wind. But back, blown in from parts unknown, and ready to join us again is our own Mike McCoy. Mike, welcome back from your hiatus. Where were you, if anywhere?
Where'd you get that hair?
You please get it right. You and Keenan is not Mike McCoy. It's the real McCoy. It's just like a shirt and a shoe going together. It's the real McCoy.
A shirt and a shoe?
A shirt and a shoe. You expect me to say a sock and a shoe. It's a shirt and a shoe. And by the way, your smartphone is missing. I stole it out your car. So that's how smart I am. How about that?
Now, you got a Steelers shirt on, Mike.
That's right.
Are you a Steelers? I thought you were a fan of the legal tender. Are you a fan of the Steelers?
Yes and no.
The legal tender means money.
Oh, of course it does. Ask Statton. My bank knows that. To answer that question, I'm trying to show you what a team that has, I believe it's 6 Super Bowl rings, and the Bengals are trying to get 1 Super Bowl ring.
Right. Talking about this year, though, right?
No, I'm talking about any years to come. The Bengals will never, ever win a Super Bowl in our lifetime. The reason they'll never do it is because what? Andy Dalton sucks. That's the bottom line. Now, see, let me say this and get this out here right quick.
Good, yeah, I know you've been saying it.
Let me say this.
I'm not saying anything.
Because
I'm going to go ahead and relax.
No, go ahead. I was gone for 2 weeks. I heard it.
Why do I feel like I'm at a White Shadow reunion here?
Because you are. You the cream in the middle of the chocolate. Okay. Like I'm saying, I'm hearing drum beats about Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Are you guys really serious? Don't you know if they do win a playoff game and then win a second-round game, they're going to face the Patriots, and the Patriots going to mop them up. So I'm not
if it's here. Not if it's here.
It's not going to be here.
Oh, you don't know that.
Yes, I do know that.
If they're the number 1 seed, it's here.
They're not going to be the number 1 seed.
How do you know?
Because I didn't look at the fortune cookie. I'm telling you, dude.
Okay.
Stop saying.
Any other questions?
What was that?
I was just saying to Ken. Any other questions? You
none.
You looked in the fortune cookie.
No, he looked at the fortune cookie. What did it say?
It said the Bengals will not win a playoff game.
Mike, I got stats for you.
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry, real McCoy, I got stats.
Go ahead.
I got stats because Andy Dalton sucks, as you like to explain every week. He's tops in quarterback rating.
How about that?
He's
over
number
everybody.
1?
Number 1. He's also number 1 just to show you that it's legit yards per attempt.
He can't be number 1 right now because he didn't play Sunday. I would think it would be.
Every team is. There's several teams that are taking a bye at this point.
Packers
Let
were
the
on a
man
bye
talk.
too.
Let the man talk.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Redhead.
Through 6 games, he's number 1 in quarterback rating and number 1 in yards per attempt, which I'm more impressed with than anything.
Right.
That shows he's throwing the ball down the field.
What he said.
It's just not dinking and dunking.
No.
Okay, so you trying to say that is saying that, okay.
He doesn't suck.
Hold on. Yes, he does. Okay, here's the deal. They got Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Yeah.
And the Browns come in here and clean their clock
No, they're
on
not.
Thursday. They done it before.
Not if Johnny Manziel's
I wouldn't give a
quarterbacking.
damn
I'd rather
if
have
it's-
you quarterbacking. You have a better
Well,
shot
I'm
than
going to take you up on your challenge. You come talking about you can defend somebody. I take you on the football field, and I bet you can't defend me.
You?
You heard me? I didn't stutter, did I?
Browns
if I
suck.
took you on the football field, okay?
If, woulda, coulda,
yeah,
shoulda.
okay, right. You would. The one thing you would have said when it's all over is,
What?
where did he go?
Exactly.
Where did he go?
And I'm going to say,
Where is he? How do I catch him?
He's with that other redhead, picked him up outside. That's exactly what I would say. He's with the other redhead.
Anytime you're ready.
Well, let's do it. Is we making a bet on this or what?
Anytime you're ready.
We've already gone out to disprove one of your claims, Mike, and I
Well,
think
go ahead.
that
What
didn't
is it?
turn out. Huh? No,
But
the
you could throw the
50-yard
ball
pass.
50
I was on vacation that week, but I heard that we went out and saw whether you could throw the ball 50 yards.
True.
Yeah, he did.
He threw it 30.
No, 50 feet.
35.
35 yards. Okay.
But I got somebody in the control room that can throw the ball 50 yards.
Do you know when I played, you know what my nickname was?
What was your nickname?
The Strawberry Express.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. The Strawberry Express. That's what I was. Because my hair would flow out of my helmet, you know, because I just kept it a little long. All the ladies liked it. And I was so fast, and I had this juke move, right? Boop, boop, like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Strawberry Express.
Okay, now let's get back to some real
I think I
stuff
hurt
here
my
for a
knee doing
second.
that.
Now, with the Bengals are 6-0, correct?
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
So
It
in
hasn't
other
changed in a
words,
week.
there's only one way for them to go, isn't it?
Here's the deal,
No,
Mike.
isn't it?
Well,
They could go two
No,
ways.
no,
You
no,
could keep
no,
winning,
come on.
or you
What
could
the-
start losing. That's two different ways, Mike.
You're going to make me flip my wig.
Let me ask you one question before we say goodbye.
Yes, go ahead. What is it?
I need a prediction from you on this Sunday's game in Pittsburgh, all BS aside,
Okay.
all shtick aside, everything that we've been talking about aside, everything that might be hyperbole aside,
He's gonna
everything
take
that
off the
might
glasses and
be
afro for that.
considered rah-roo aside. Who wins?
Let me ask you this question.
No, I just asked you a
Is
question.
Ben going to be playing?
Yes, he is.
No, is Ben going to?
Yes, he's gonna play.
If
He's
he
gonna play.
plays, Pittsburgh will win. Because this young boy that came in, he's
terrible.
halfway decent.
No,
but
he's not.
Ben's not going to make the mistakes that he makes on the interceptions. So
No.
I'll say Pittsburgh is going to win probably by 3 points.
The only fear
buy
that
that.
the only fear I have about Roethlisberger, honestly, the ability to extend plays. If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm afraid about that knee because their offensive line is okay.
Piecemeal.
I don't know if it's great. I mean, I'm looking at 72. I think it's Gilbert. I mean, they were blowing that.
They got a guy
up
that was
yesterday.
playing wide
But-
receiver at Army is now their left tackle.
Yeah.
But can't think about this.
Right.
He can just hand the ball off to Bell, and when he gets rid of the ball, okay, on the pass, but he can hand the ball off and pick and choose when he wants to throw to Brown and that sort of thing. So that young boy couldn't bring that to the table.
No.
See, you're bringing experience to the table
That's
now.
right.
That's all I'm saying. So I'm looking for Pittsburgh really to win by 3 because
Like 27-24,
something like that, because they got to stay in the hunt. They need this
I agree.
game
I agree
Sunday.
with that. I think Pittsburgh wins this week.
You know, they need this game Sunday.
I think Pittsburgh wins. I'll be honest with you. I think Cleveland gives them a hell of a game here.
Yeah, they're
I
built,
really do.
Cleveland's
Cleveland's defense is
built.
good.
They're built for the division. They're not built for the rest of the league.
No.
But for the division, they are.
You got that right. Absolutely. It's good to see you again, Mike.
Nice seeing you too.
Well, don't be a stranger, okay?
Real
We're gonna send out
McCoy,
a
stop the mic.
What?
Mike and Ike.
I was going to look at this. Look at this right here. Well, I was going to set a search party out for you. I was afraid something happened to you on the.
I was at the dog track winning money.
You guys are like a Neapolitan ice cream. You got the strawberry, vanilla, and the chocolate.
There we go.
You're far too cerebral for this show.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Do we have Mr. Statton on Fountain Square
He
yet?
is joining us now.
Oh, thank God. Let's bring in Mr. Statton from Fountain Square. Statton, welcome back to the Flying Pigskin.
Gentlemen, what's happening? How we doing?
Good. What's going on down there at Fountain Square?
I tell you what, it is a Monday, but it is Steeler week.
Yes.
And this is the week we go 7-0. You know, bring on Roethlisberger, anybody you want to. It doesn't matter. 7-0, we got this week.
Now, are there people around you down there, Statton?
Well, I tell you what, we've got an empty ice rink right now.
Good.
People are finishing up their lunch, but you can tell the twinkle in their eye is beat the Steelers.
Is there anyone you could just like randomly grab as they walk by you?
Hey, come here for a second.
Don't
What are you doing
freak
here,
out
Mike?
anybody, Statton.
All right, what's your name here?
I'm Dylan.
Dylan, what's happening? How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Hey, what do you think? What do you think about this week? Steeler week, the Bengals.
Man, they're gonna put them in the dirt. That's just all there is to it.
Ooh, in the dirt.
In the dirt.
That's all there is to it. Who they? We ain't the Bengals. Welcome to the jungle, baby. I'm telling you, it's going to go down.
I love that. See what I'm saying?
I know that.
We still have energy down here.
I feel like that's Statton's little brother.
A lot of hype, and the city's beautiful anyway. So, I mean, bring it. Like you said, bring them on.
Are you related, Statton, the two of you?
Are we related? Probably somewhere down the line, aren't we?
Somewhere. Yeah.
Hey, Bengals blood runs thick.
Oh, definitely does. I can't imagine, last year how he was, how he switched up. It's amazing how he's doing as a quarterback now. It's just
Dalton. It's about Dalton.
All the above.
Yeah, I mean, like last year in the dirt, this year on top of the world.
AD all day.
And nobody can touch us.
Does Dylan have a question for us, Statton?
Yeah. So do you have a question for Ken Broo about these Bengals?
Actually, do you think anybody can really handle the Bengals this year?
Woo, I like that question.
Well, it's going to be interesting this week. It's the Steelers. I think the Steelers have it. And then Denver out there could be a tough out. Yeah.
Ain't going to beat us.
No, Dylan, I'm with Dylan. What does Dylan do? Why is he on Fountain Square? Does he do anything down there?
Dylan, why are you down here on Fountain Square on a Monday at about 1:30? What's happening?
I'm actually enjoying the banks of Cincinnati and everything. The hype, the energy here is just amazing. And
beautiful.
You can't come down here and not feel good. If you have a bad day, you come down here, you walk through the city, you're going to have a good day.
See, I like that. I like that, boys.
That's a great atmosphere. Great atmosphere. Statton, it was good to see you. And thank Dylan for his time. We appreciate it. Statton,
you got it.
I loved your mean tweets. They were great today. You were huge today, Statton.
Hilarious.
Let's do it up, boys.
Give me a hooday. Can you guys do hooday? Yeah, hooday. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, gentlemen.
See you, boys.
See you, buddy.
He brought up a good point, Ken Dillon did. If anybody can take down the Bengals. The Bengals, while they're undefeated, the AFC still has 3 undefeated teams. So they need the Patriots or the Broncos. At some point, they need one of those 2 teams to lose so they can try to get that bye for the playoffs.
I want Matt to weigh in on this. The only thing that's going to take down Cincinnati this year is injury. If Dalton stays upright, all things possible. If Green stays upright, all things possible. Either one of those 2 guys go down, whole dynamic changes, because then you're doubling Eifert or you're doubling Jones, and those guys can't fight it off like Green can, and they don't have the ability to go up and catch the ball like Green can do. They're good receivers. They're fast. Eifert's a tough kid. Neither one of those guys are as lethal as A.J. Green. What do you think there, Matt?
Well, I think that's true. I mean, that was the difference between, I think, this year's Bengals team and last year's Bengals team is the lack of injuries to significant players. And I think if they get Burfict back and he can actually play even close to the way he used to, that'll shore up the defense to be even better than it is now. But no, without injury, I don't think anybody can stop them. Not so much they're going to go 16-0, but they're going to win the division. They're going to have a high seed. It's possible they could get a 3 seed because Denver and New England are still very, very good teams. But I actually think the Bengals are better than Denver, and I think the Bengals are going to beat Denver when they get to that game in December. We'll see.
Denver's defense is pretty good.
Yeah. The Bengals can only they're the biggest hurdle that they have to do to overcome is just to keep playing the way they are now, and they're definitely going to win 12 games or something and be very
as long as they don't win 11, I'm fine. Let's do the 2-minute drill. You want to do the trim? Let's talk about offense.
Blow the whistle.
Talked a little bit with that with the real McCoy. Who's got the better offense, the Cincinnati Bengals or the Pittsburgh Steelers? Keenan.
If they're all healthy, are we including offensive line in this? Or
everything. Better offense.
Better offense. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. Better skilled players. The Steelers, just because I went through it. Andy's not as good as Ben right now. Right. Le'Veon Bell's a better running back, and you can flip a coin between Brown and Green.
Right. What do you think, Brian?
Well, you say you can flip a coin between Brown and Green. Maybe that's true, but let's look at what else the other weapons that the Bengals have. They've got Eifert, they've got Sanu, they've got Marvin Jones, and of course I'm a Bengals fan, so I got to say Bengals are just more options.
And they have Hugh Jackson. Well, I'll take over Todd Haley.
And you've got Dalton looking great this year, and you've got Roethlisberger who hasn't been there because of injury, so it's hard to tell exactly what their offense is going to look like with Roethlisberger in.
What about Mike? What do you think, Mike? Bengals or Steelers?
I mean, it's a tough question. I hold on a second, guys. I think that the Bengals are obviously playing better as an offense, but beginning of the year when I was looking at this, I would have said it was the Steelers. Yeah. I mean, they got back a stud at receiver after 4 games, and Bryant. I mean, he looks like Chris Henry to me.
Yeah.
And then, Brown is the best receiver in the league. You got the best running back in the league. Roethlisberger's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, it's just the Bengals are playing better. You know what I mean?
The offensive line, I think, is the difference between the two of them right now. I think that's how you separate. Yeah. Maybe the play caller.
Libby, better offense, Bengals or Steelers?
Johnny Manziel.
Libby?
Can you think that I know anything that's so cute?
Do you want to know something? And I won't tell you my age. I've only been called cute once. And that was it, and I really wasn't called cute. What I said was cute.
I was going to say, where do we go?
I think the Steelers, honestly, I think the Steelers are better at the key positions on offense. But their offensive line doesn't measure up at all to the Bengals' offensive line. And honestly, if you can't keep the other guy off your quarterback, all that other stuff doesn't
matter. It all crumbles apart.
If that Bengals offensive line couldn't protect Dalton, he wouldn't have been throwing up these numbers. They wouldn't be 6-0. I think that's the difference between the two teams. I think that's why Cincinnati wins this week.
I agree. Well, I'm with the Steelers, but I agree with you.
I thought you guys liked the Steelers this week.
I like the Steelers.
You do. Ken likes the Bengals.
I think the Bengals win this week. I do. But again, it's very difficult for me to go against a 6-0 team. It just really is.
Man, they have a chance to bury them. You know what I mean? If they win,
yeah.
they really
dirt is what
that's
long
what I'm saying.
dirt.
That guy was right.
The dirt.
Guy on Fountain Square, bury them. They have a chance to do that.
Right. If they win, I think they'll take the wind out of everybody's sails, and it'll just be a battle for second place and see if Pittsburgh can still make the playoffs, which I bet they still would.
Yeah, I think they would.
I mean, I think they're going to be, even if they lose next week, and they're 4-4. They'll have 10 games left. I bet they win 6 of them, get 10 wins, and still probably make a wild card.
It's unfortunate someone from the AFC South hasn't made the playoffs this year. What a
terrible division. Well, that's the Flying Pigskin Show. We're on every Monday at 1. We're actually on twice next week because we're on Monday and then Friday after the Thursday night game. And if you missed any part of the show, or you want to go back and look at it again, or you want to see past shows, everything is stored on They got these things called servers where you can put stuff on them, a lot of stuff, and a lot of this stuff and more stuff is on the WCPO server, CPO.com server. So go there, you get past episodes of the Flying Pigskin, and you also can listen to us on iTunes. But get the app, because these things are taking off. I'm telling you.
Rocky was wrong.
Rocky was dead wrong. These things are going to explode. What is this thing called?
That's an iPhone.
These things are going to take off. I'm telling you, flip phones are out. These are the things. Get the app. We'll see you next Monday at 1 o'clock on the Flying Pigskin, only on WCPO.com. I think I got to charge the battery.